footprint bar statistics. It's been a while since we've done much on this, and this is one that I actually look at personally, and it's footprint statistics that's computed on each bar. So it's numbers. It's not part of the footprint bar. It's actually a study that gets applied at the bottom of a chart, and with just a bunch of statistics. So it's cumulative. So it basically is everything that happened in the bar in a single statistic. So it's a numerical way to track volume and delta, and it provides insights not seen elsewhere. So I'll show you, here's a kind of a zoomed in view just of the last 3 bars. This would be the right price scale on the right hand side. And these are all the available ones that are available. These are all the statistics that are available. So I want to take a brief moment to describe these because. So remember, there's a footprint up above here that's just up above. You can't see it on this. And these numbers are all a summation or some mathematical total of what's been generated in the footprint. So volume is just total volume. So you can see it gives you a raw number, how much volume traded within the bar. Delta is the delta for the bar. And for those of you who don't know what delta is, that's simply the order. Think of it as order flow. And a little more specifically, it's the difference between the aggressive buy and aggressive sell volume as we define it. So any positive number represents positive order flow, more aggressive buying. Any negative number, or red here, represents more aggressive selling, more hitting of the bid. Delta day, that's your cumulative delta. So all day long, it just adds up the deltas. It's a running total of delta, just a running total. So it gives you a good idea of the bias of order flow. When it's negative, it tends to be a down day overall. If it's positive, it's probably a positive day. I'm obviously generalizing, but that's a good rule of thumb. Buy vol would be the volume, how much of the volume, of this volume up here, 1695, how much of it traded at the ask. So we consider buy volume ask traded volume. And sell volume is this number. So it gives you a breakdown. Max delta. That is the highest value achieved in delta. So this number, this delta travels as markets trading. This shows you the maximum amount it reached, and the min delta shows you the minimum amount. And then delta change, and this is the one to me the one I look at probably the most, or it's right up there, is the change in delta from the previous bar. So let me show you what that means, then you'll know how to read it. See, it says 134. Well, the difference between 117 and minus 17 is 134. So let's look at these two here. Minus 17 and minus 88. The difference is 271. So there's a big swing in delta here. It was real negative over here. It's a lot less negative here. And that shows for a positive. So what it shows you, ends up showing you, is an early, or kind of an early warning sign of the market reversing. And that's how I use it. So let's take a look. All right. This is today. This was actually this morning, a little before lunch. And I have obviously a footprint with some edge zones on here. Here is at the bottom our footprint bar statistics. And then I've added, I like this, it's the delta bars study. This is delta, just shows me that whether delta is positive or negative, and it shows me the travel of delta, like how high did it go and how low did it go. So think of it as a candlestick of delta. And what well, one of the ways I apply this, I'm really talking about the footprint bar statistics. Me personally, there's obviously a lot of data points here, but one of the things I'm looking for is I like to trade reversals, and so I'm looking for instances where I get a big surge. This thing keeps. I get a big surge in the delta change. So right here, where the delta goes from minus 1087 to positive 1403, it's telling me that there's a big shift. This bar was negative, this one was positive in delta. I'm looking for some continuation potentially. So what I'm recommending is what I suggest is you look at the market you trade and watch the delta change. See if it's giving you any kind of signal, any kind of early warning, especially when the market is heading into support or resistance. So let me show you another example. This is a good one here. So this one's easier to read because I've got points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the chart. So this is this is today, and what I've got, I'm looking at point 1. Look at my point 1 right here. See my cursor, number 1. You've got back-to-back, or you got these edge zone levels. They're pretty much back-to-back. So when you have these, I haven't said this, I didn't say this earlier, but when they're together, we put more weight on it. It's a little stronger of a zone. Now, again, some people may feel otherwise, but that's when I've got a level, multiple zones, edge zones at a particular level, I consider that stronger. You can't see the cursor disappears when I'm not moving it. So when I move it, you see the laser pointer. Just focus on right here, number 1. That's what I'm talking about. So you've got these edge zones, the market's approaching it. So I'm expecting to see some sort of response at that level. At least that would be that's my expectation. So what is my signal? Well, there's a couple things we could look for, but look down here to number 2 now. And particularly look at my delta change, minus 1382. That is my signal. And ideally I would have liked to seen it happen before, but this is good enough. I mean, this is where the bar actually reversed. The bar closed on its low, and it's a pretty good, the market had been fairly strong. Finally, we get a large delta change, and then it's followed through here. I watched this actually happen in real time. I was trying to pull an example from today, and I watched the market trade up here. I just watched this happen in real time. I'm like, okay, let's watch. And then this happened, and I'm like, oh, market, now we've got an imbalance, a sell imbalance. Perfect. It's what I like to see. That's this right here, that's what I got my number 3 on. So we had a sell imbalance. And then the market started moving lower. I'm like, okay, where's it going? Right here's where I'm looking. That would be my first spot to either cover up a short or a target. What did it do? And it was great. I mean, I watched this thing trade right down to it, to the tick, and then it started to bounce. And so this was just a great trade. It traded up to resistance. Got my signal here, or some confirmation with the delta change, and it pulled right back to an edge zone. And at that point I just took my screenshot because I had this was the example I was looking for. It was perfect. And so anyway, hopefully you could see what I'm looking for here was the double edge zones, delta change, imbalance trigger that just confirmed the opening of this bar to the sell side, and then I had a target here of the edge zone. Nice trade setup.